All right, so this was where we stopped in our last class, and and once you log in, you can click on your view your part, then resume. Let's click on resume. So this is basically the practical class we are taking. I know Mr. Shegun has been taking us the theoretical class, but no problem, sure. We will find a way of striking balance. All right. So for the practical class, I asked us to complete some tasks which only few of us did. Is Omolai on the call? Is she on the call? All right. So I asked us to complete the remaining part of this class, in which only few of us, reached out. Only few of us were able to solve it. All right. So that's fine. So we are going to go through those classes now again. Then after that, we we're going to go as far as possible. All right. So let's click on access the lab. This was the previous one we did. We're able to solve this apprentice. Let's click on continue. Okay. So what we want to do now is basic parameter-based access control method. That's what we want to check. All right. So because these are the things that you need to check while you are while you are doing your pen testing. All right, before they launch your product into the market space. All right. So for instance, now you see some application determine the user's access right or role at login. Understand? So once you log in, you get those access controls and everything. I said then store this information in user controllable location. This could be a hidden field, a cookie, a present query string parameter, right? So we said the application makes access control definition decisions based on the submitted value. Okay, so this is a particular URL we are given, and then it says this approach is insecure because a user can modify the value of access functionality they are not authorized to, such as administrative functions. All right. So why do you see that this kind of approach is insecure? Is just that as it is, I can just log in insecure login like this home.json jsp.admin equals true. All right. So it means if I'm privileged to see this, I can always, being as a user, I can always edit all these URLs to suit my own purpose. All right. It depends on the level of encryption or the level of understanding of the developers. All right. So let's click on continue. So for the continue, we asked ourselves, we said this lab has an admin panel @admin, which identifies administrators using what? A forgeable cookie. So solve the lab by accessing admin panel and using it to delete the user, Carlos. So we have to log in with this particular parameter. Then we have to navigate into what? Admin in the admin panel. Then delete what? Carlos. All right. So that's what we want to achieve. Okay, that's what we want to achieve. All right, so once we click on access the lab, okay, so we're able to access the lab, right? Fine. Normally, from the instruction, let me see, are we to intercept? We are not to intercept, so there's no need of turning on your intercept, right? Okay. Now, that's the first one says, we should navigate to admin and observe that you can't access the admin panel. Browse the login page. You're about to turn on intercept and enable response interception, complete and submit login page, and forward the result to what? To your Bob. Then do what? Observe that the response sets the cookies admin equals false. Change it to what? Admin equals true. Load and delete load the admin panel and delete Carlos. All right. So first thing we're going to do is to navigate towards /admin. So let's try that. This is our URL /admin. Okay, it shows us that what admin interface only available if logged in as what as administrator. So we can't access the admin interface now since we not log in as administrator. All right. The other one say browse the login page, which we've done. This one said in Bob suit, turn interception on and enable response interception. All right. Let's go to our Bob suit now. I need to include that in the screen we are sharing. All right, so these are Bob suits. So we should have those two screens. Okay, so that means we need to turn on our interception. Our intercept is on rather. Let's go back to our admin. Turn interception on, enable response intercept, complete and submit the login page, and forward the request to Bob. All right. So what we want to do now is we want to check, we want to log in as Wayne and Peter. Right. Let's try that. All right, so it's taking much of my time. I think I just, okay. The admin page is on. All right, so let me put Wayne and Peter. So I need the intercepts. I need to intercept this for me to be able to get where I'm looking for. It won't even log in because from the credential I'm seeing here, it shows my password is not even correct. Let me Peter again. Peter. All right, so I've been able to log in. Definitely, I've been able to log in. So what I was told is that observe the response set and the cookies. Admin equals false. Change it to what admin equals true. So from the cookies I was able to gather, be able to see that cookie admin equals false. So session ID. So I'm gonna do is just I need to forward this my intercept to my repeater. All right. So from my repeater, let me try sending. Okay. So let me see. Then the next thing for me to do is that I need to change it to admin equals true from admin equals false, right? From admin equals false to admin equals true. Let's come here. So let's try changing this to true. All right, then send. All right. So we've been able to achieve that. Okay, let me see what we have. coming. Zoom. All right, so we've achieved this. So the next thing for us to do now is for us to go to our website, right? So the previous thing, what we did is just, we are assuming that we don't have a good understanding of this particular task. And you are pen testing this particular platform, and you are trying to find a means of breaking this. Fine, you've changed your admin equals to true from admin equals false. You try loading it. How do you feed the server so that it will recognize you as an admin? So those are the kind of things, tricks which you are going to check. All right. I think we can go to our platform. We can let's see, can we inspect? The inspection will work for us. All right. So can we go to our application? From our application, you'll be able to see your cookies. Cookies is what you are dealing with, right? And mind you, you've turned your admin here to be true, but your admin here is still false. Your admin value here is still false. So we can edit here. Let's say
the admin value here is false.
What you say?
You said the admin value here is false. Where is here?
No, I'm saying that admin here on your page, you understand? You intercepted the network already, right? Let me put it as false. So you intercepted the traffic already, right? Then you were told to turn, for you now, for instance, you want to log in as an admin. And when you intercepted your traffic, before sending it to repeater, it shows here that your admin is false.
Okay.
All right? You don't have access to become an admin with your user account. So what you want to do now is you want to give your user account a higher access. Probably, if you turn the admin value to 2, will you be able to log in as admin? All right. But what you've done basically is just changing it from here and sending it as a response. It doesn't recognize it, right?
Okay.
So for you not to be able to do that, that's why you now have to, for on this particular page, this particular website I'm pen testing, can I see what runs here? All right. So, and you know, this is a developer tool where you have your memory, your network, your performance for all your application, because this is where you load it, right? So what you're not trying to check now is, okay, we are dealing with cookies. Cookies is what we are trying to manipulate, right? Come here, this is your cookies. Click on this. All right. So mind you, it still registered the cookie is still registering the previous value of admin, which is false.
Okay.
All right. So now, can you manipulate your cookie to get access into, another person's privileged account, which is what we're trying to do.
So sorry, sir. That means the change we made on our repeater, it does not automatically reflect here.
Exactly.
That's how it's meant to be.
That's how it's meant to be.
Okay.
Exactly. It doesn't automatically affect itself here. So, and that's why you have to come here, because this is where your cookies are being stored. It's stored in the browser. I don't know if you have an idea. Your cookie stores most of those informations on the browser.
Yeah.
So not on your Bob suit environment. So, so you now have to come here. Okay, can we try a scenario whereby, okay, let me solve this. Let's try something. Something came to my mind. So let's turn this to true. All right. Enter. So I was thinking that we can try another scenario. You're not trying to intercept. Just say you want to turn the value to true ordinarily without changing the value to false, to true from during your intercept. Then let's see what happens to it. But the whole essence of all this is just that it allows you to edit, give it a different values, then send it back to the server. That's just the whole idea of the Bob suite. So it allows you to write in some things into your browsers, into your applications, right? So it allows you to do some injections, some input, some values to control the main web platform or application interface, or the way application behaves, and which is what we've done. But once we did that, it's not really affecting the cookies. So that's why we have to come here and change the value to true. So as it is now, this is already on the browser, right? Let's see what happened. All right, so can we close our tool? Let's just refresh. Fine. You already have your admin panel by just trying to edit what your cookies. So that's just the way it works. So there's something I omitted. I would have wanted us to do is that we shouldn't have gone to the Bob Suite. Let's just turn it on the browser and see if it's going to work perfectly the way we have it. All right, but it still logs us as we are logging as winner, but now we have access to admin panel. Logging in as a user, we couldn't access admin panel earlier, but now with the user, we're able to gain access as an admin now. So we logging in as an admin, and we are asked to delete what? We have to delete a user, Carlos. And normally, access control is meant to function. Sorry. Okay. So access control is.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Wait, please, can you allow me land, please? Let me just finish this. So that you can come up. All right. So this access control can just allow you, this access control it's not meant for you to be able to tamper with naturally and gain access to it. Because if such thing is happening, for instance, you own something, a company like Jumia, and a normal user could gain access and become an admin. So definitely, I can always be buying things that I'm not meant to have access to. I can always approve, a request even without you paying. That means I can control the system from my end. So that is the whole essence of access control. There are some users, some are grouped as ordinary users. Some have access as an admin privilege users. All right. So those are the two main things. Those are the major things that I felt that we could achieve. All right. So that's just the way. All right. So thank you. All right. So who was the person that wanted to ask a question? Please, you can go ahead. But please, let's use our hand raising emoji to really guide us through. All right. So that we won't be distracting ourselves. And if you have any other question, please, you can go ahead as well. All right. Thank you.
So, sir, please, I have a question. The reason is
Oh,
because I particularly tried this particular tax a lot of times,
I
but of
not get
course,
it.
I didn't know I didn't know to change it on my browser itself. I thought that as long as I've made the change on the Bob, it would reflect. I did not know this until now. Now, my question now is, well, we're supposed to work on this individually. We are going to have to follow the instructions they give to us. The instructions here didn't ask that we should change it on our browser. So how do we know? I don't know if you understand.
All right. Now, let me now tell you something. Observe the response sets the cookie admin false. Change it to what? Admin true.
Yeah.
Right? I get your question. See, all these things are what you discover when you play CTF the more. So it is expected of us to do capture the flags. There's something we call capture the flags. So the knowledge I gained now was, okay, I was able to go through this particular course I'm taking, you guys. I've gone through it sometimes, all right? And you could see earlier, I logged in, I'm still going through it again. I started afresh again. You keep on refreshing your memory, your knowledge, all right? I'm in SQL injection. I'm almost done with the practitioner level before I move into expert, which is the top one, right? And I gave myself before December, I must finish all those courses again. Like you keep on practicing, all right? See, there are some things that, in terms of all this setting your browser and everything, you know that your cookies has been stored on your browser. You must learn how to use your developer tools. The
Okay.
developer tools guides you a lot. It's not only cookies that are being set, that are being observed on that place. You see your network informations, the infrastructures, All right. So these are basic things that it is expected of us to be able to do. Let me log in. Let me do that again. Let me say inspect. So what you are doing in your inspection is just trying to get through, navigating through the whole website and how it works. All right. So you have your console, you have your source, check different bundles. So these are the bundles for the whole thing we have been doing, the learning part. All right. So all these things are they are just things that you must just think of as a developer, as a pen tester. These are your images. So that means you can come here and see some images that are being used on this particular platform,
Yeah.
isn't it? All
Yeah.
right. So you navigate through again. Lab user, this is the current lab we are solving.
Yeah.
All right. So you can come here, your memory, check the heap size, the network, what is really happening. Oh, hash fast, true. You need to see them. Status code, this 304, okay, it's different from all these 2200. So those are you just have to be thinking faster than other guys, all right? Performance, your applications. Now, this is the application we are dealing with. Under your application, I'm solving a section under cookies, right? And looking at it, I have a first cookie here, stripe 202 port, it's telling me AWS BAP. Let me come here, another one talking about recharge fronts and all this thing. So, but initially where we were on that particular page. From that particular page, you can always come here to the cookie. Since it is cookie you are dealing with, and you know your cookie is there, you can always come here to the cookie, try and check what is happening on the application layer, other application for my cookies, what is really happening here. All right. So that's just a normal way you think. Honestly, nobody will teach you all these things. You see, as we are looking at it, this is not secure, something like this, with certificate. These are the ways in which we just troubleshoot. Ethical hacking is not what someone teaches you, that you have a stereotyped process of getting it right. You just try different means, different things that you've studied in the past. All right. So at the end of this class, I'm going to expose us to a platform I call how do you call it? Pico CTF. Go to Pico CTF, learn a lot of things. You can see that just learn on cookies. You can get books on cookies alone. I'm still reading on cookies myself. You read just cookies alone. So when you study cookies, how to, how do you call it? How to manipulate cookies, how to tamper with your cookies values. All right. I've done things during the last week because I was having a lot of things on my desk. I was able to manipulate some cookie by I just did in a cookie session. I did more or less like SQL injections, trying to use my union, subunion, all those things, and I did my SQLi injection, and it went through. How? It's not that I was able to see that I was able to log in with SQL injection or infect the database, but it's returning a success code of 200 to me, which is a success. All right. So more or less like you're having 200, it means all these things are success. They are success. So when you have this 302, okay, you can always check there's a redirect. You understand? So all these kind of status code are what guides you. Each information you are having is what you use to predict the next action you are going to pick. All right. So that's just the way it is. All right. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes. So in a nutshell, we should just think about it.
Think about it. Study each of the concepts. Study each concept. Study each concept, because that's why this Postfigure Academy is taking us, in stages. At a point, once you are done with your SQLi injection, SQLi is much. So you just take it a bit per time. Try and understudy that particular aspect. And you must know how a website works. So if you're a developer, you will know the function of developer tools. That one we check, view source code, inspect. So you're able to know that even when developers are developing, they go to developer to check what is really happening to what they are running. All right. So it's an added advantage to you learning those tools, because you must know what is really going on. I don't know if that is well gotten.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All right. So, Marty, all right, no problem. No problem at all. It's just for us to be orderly. All right. Oh my God, this dog. This dog again. All right. So you can go ahead, Marty. No, Roti, you can go ahead, please. You can ask your question. Is she there? Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. You can go
I
ahead.
wanted to ask how we got to, do you know, after we entered the winner and the Peter password, then ask us to update our email. How do we get to where we can now see winners to do it and colors to do it?
Okay, okay. Now, that was what I finished explaining. All right. So when you logged in as a user, I understand it's only showing you your ID as what? As winner. Because that was the username, the ID you use in the registry, right? You input your password. Now, ordinarily after adjusting, after changing the parameters, apologies, don't mind those dogs, you just shout like anyhow. All right, so when you sorry, where do I stop? So when you try logging in as a winner, that's you just log in as a normal user. And what you did was just trying to do parameter tampering in your request after intercepting the traffic. You change your admin to true and you send it. It's giving you a success of a success code of 200. That means it's worked perfectly. What you've done is actually right, because this success code 200 really matters a lot. All right. So what you did was just to come here and you couldn't access the admin panel again. So what the best option for you is just to try and okay, let me try and do that again. But we solve the challenge. We won't be able to get what you want to get. So you just do is just inspect. All right. Because normally by sending, it's not affecting your browser. And your cookies are stored on your browsers. I don't know. You can do more research on that. Your cookies are stored on your browser. And that's why at times it asks you to clear some cookies. Cookies are just like memories and they're trying to store some. That's why at times you can be you can do cookies. You can, if you can gain access into somebody's platform and you're able to, let me say, hijack their account or hijack their session, you can look into their cookies. From their cookies you can reload. All right, you can reload some sessions and then try to initiate some previous actions they've done in the past. So once you log in into that, that's what takes you down to the network, the performance, the application, the security level. So when you come here, come to the application straight up. Don't disturb yourself. We are not dealing with DB. All right. We are not doing anything on the DB. We're not doing anything on all this local storage. We are not working on the cache. All right. So we are not working on the state token, but we are doing something on our cookies, right? So from our cookies, we can check. These are post trigger. What is really happening? All the actions that we've been performing, all right, are well represented there. All right. So this is particular one. This is more or less like a YouTube. Maybe we play a YouTube during our session. Is there. All right. So these ones are there. You know, initially you don't have all these. What you have from the previous one before we are able to log in is you have for your, how do you call it? It shows you two columns. Admin, right? The one that set the value of admin to be false. All right. So which was the initial value that you add, that we add, that we are trying to maneuver to, or we are trying to manipulate or tamper with to make it true. All right. So that we are trying to manipulate then to make true. So that's what you are trying to look at. So once you see it here, oh, this is the admin. Admin is false here. Can I change the value to be true? Yes, I can change it to be true. You change it to be true, then that's all, you enter. It takes it up. So what you do is just to come to the browser page again, just refresh. Where it was asking you earlier to update your email, all right? Just refresh. And once you refresh, it pop up. It gives you access as an admin automatically. Then once you have an access as an admin, then you can delete whatsoever they ask you to delete. I don't know if that answers your question as well.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Are you sure it's okay? If it's not clear, you can ask question again. You can ask other questions, please.
It's clear now, thank you.
Oh, all right. All right. So do you have any other question? All right, so can we go ahead? Are we okay? Please, can we respond? I need response, please.
Yes, you can go ahead, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir, we are good. You can go ahead.
All right. So can we move on to the next task?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Don't mind me. I love to carry everyone around. That's why. All right. So let's go back to. All right. So we are done with that. Now, we want to talk about horizontal privilege. So we want to talk about the horizontal privilege now. So for this horizontal privilege, what happens most of the time is that you are trying to do your escalations. For instance, let's say that if a user is able to gain access to the resources belonging to another users, so to another user instead of their own, resources of that type. So for instance, let me say an employee can access the record of other employees as well as their own. Then this is horizontal privilege escalation. All right. So that is part of the things that we will do when we enter an organization. You try to use your personal access to see if you can get into other people's profile. Maybe check their payroll, check their money, check their money, check how do you call it? Check their money, check their money, check their salary, check what they are doing. All right. So from there, then you now be able to escalate other privilege access. All right. So horizontal privilege escalation attacks may use similar type of exploit method or physical privilege escalation. For example, a user might access their own account page, using a particular URL. Then you now try and edit it. Maybe for an ID parameter, you try to change the ID to another user. Like for instance, now those kind of scenario are a scenario that has happened in the industry, whereby you establish a connection for a transaction. You log in as Lawa Ibukun. Having logged in as Lawa Ibukun, you're able to perform your transaction on GT or FCMB app. Then after logging in, you can still use that same section for performing your transaction to perform transaction for another person. You understand that? For instance, let me say, without your single session, all you need is just to get the ID of another person. Replace the ID of that other person with your own ID. Replace the ID of that person with your own ID, and automatically you're able to access that person's account from your own account. All right. So those are the kind of scenarios that we can find under privilege and horizontal escalation. All right, Ibukun, you can go ahead. Ask your question, please.
All right, so brief, I just want to be sure that you are getting into record, or probably we are done with that part. Then you don't want to record.
Which one is that? Oh, I forgot.
I thought you don't want to record some part of it, so
I
probably
forgot.
I just want to be sure that you're not forgetting.
No,
Thank you, sir.
no. I'm recording this. So I'm recording everything. I think I'm recording everything. So this is just an example. Don't worry, nothing will happen. This is just for learning purpose. So nothing is happening. All right, that was what I mentioned in Ibukun. Okay, so that's just the way it works. All right, so what we need to do is just we exploit parameters. And this parameters tampering is very, very essential. I'm telling you the truth. These are most of the important things that you test on web and mobile applications. So you have unique users identifiers. There are some banking applications that what they use for them is a unique user identifier, and some of them they just use all these little authentication means. And if you can bypass them, that's why you work. So you work so that you train them, you check their applications, and then provide them with the right standard. So, but if you don't check all these little things, you might not get it right. All right. So let's say, for instance, now, in this particular lab, now what we want to check is this lab has horizontal privilege, escalation, vulnerability on users' account page, but identify users with what? General user IDs. Exactly. Some of them just use UIDs, user IDs alone. All right. So that's what we want to check now. So to solve this lab, find GUID for Carlos, then submit his API key as what? As the solution. Okay, so that's what we want to check now. All right, so let's say, for instance, you find a blog post by Carlos. Now, we are using, okay, find a blog post by Carlos. Click on Carlos and observe that the URL contained is what? Is user ID. Make a note of this ID, log in using the supply credential, and access your account page. Change the ID parameter to the what? The safe user ID. Retrieve and submit the what? The API keys. Okay, so this is a particular task we want to solve now. So let's access the lab first, as usual. Okay, so we are on the blog post as requested. Find a blog post by what? By Carlos. Click on Carlos and observe the URL contained is what? Is user ID. You are not asked to intercept here too. I don't know, maybe you need that. So you need to log in first, right? For you to be able to see blog post by Carlos. Or to me. Let me go back, let's see. Find a blog post by Carlos. Click on Carlos and then observe that so happened, okay? All right, so let's come in here and find our ways. 5. Let me try and log in, let's see what happened. I'll log in as Wayne and Peter. You just keep on thinking yourself, like, what happened if I log in? Oh, wow. This is winner IP, right? Isn't it? This API is for winner. I don't know what we want to use it for yet, but all I will do is I will just have to take note of this information I've gotten. All right. So let me say I come here, pick this. Let me copy this information. So that's how we do our test. So you pick all those informations you've gotten. In stages, you keep on gathering them. All right. Okay, please don't forget to fill your attendance sheet, please. The link is on the page or on the chat. All right, this that. Do we really need this? We don't really need what we've gotten. All right, so let's go back to home. Let's find a page that we release. It's going to show us the information about Carlos. So let's try and navigate. Let's try and look around. Let's look for a post. That means we have to check this blog and then look for a post that talks about Carlos, right? And observe the URL contain a user ID. All right, let's go there. Anyone that talks about Carlos, let's start from the first one. Let's view this post.
So sorry, is it okay to see different things on our own end?
Okay, you are seeing different things.
Yeah, when you access the lab, right? My blog doesn't have all of these contents. I'm just asking if
It's normal. It's normal. Actually, when I did this particular challenge, this wasn't part of what I saw. So it's normal. But
okay.
we're always looking for
All right.
something. These are at September 2023, 04. That means they are updating their page as well. All right. So now this post was done by by the administrator. So this is not what we are looking for. Right? We are looking for the one that was done by Carlos. Okay. So let's try and check this procrastination. For this procrastination, the post was done by what? By winner. So it's not the one we are looking for as well. Let's check this third one. We're looking for a post that was done by what's his name?
By Carlos.
By Carlos. All right. So
I found my own colors, so
you found your own Carlos.
Yeah, I found
yes.
mine.
All right, it's good. Until I find mine too. We are all here. And if I couldn't find my own Carlos, so that means I don't know where Carlos went. Wow. So I've seen my own Carlos too. So it's not that easy to find Carlos. All right. So I've been able to see my own post done by Carlos. Let me click on it. Go back a bit. This was my post. This was the post done by Carlos. All right. Okay. September 11. Okay. All right, all right. So we've gotten our information about our Carlos now. So what's the next thing for us to do? Observe that the URL contain is what? Is user ID. Make a note of this ID. Log in using the what? The supplied credential and access your what? Your account page. Okay. Let's come here. So have you seen your ID? Have you seen your users?
Yes, we have. Is this
Okay.
the
Have you
Carlos
seen
on? Yes.
your user's ID as well? Have you made note of that? Have you taken note of that?
That's the one we saw when we logged in at first, right? Yes, we took note of that.
Now that one was for that one is for Wayne now. It's not for Carlos.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Carlos is on. Oh, okay. I've not seen that one
Carlos
yet.
is on. Sorry.
So we have to log out and log in again, right?
Yeah. Okay. Omala, you're saying something. Right, can you come up?
Yes, sir. The ID, when you click to find the ID, when you click on Carlos, you have to look down at your screen.
Yes.
You see it will pop out there. The ID will pop out.
Which one?
When I did mine, I had to snap it. If you click on Carlos now, sir, just check down your screen. It will bring out the ID.
I've been looking for that. It
Because
should be.
when I did mine, that's how I saw the ID.
Yeah, it should appear. Because once you click on it, it should come up in form of it will show you the name.
Yes, it did. That's how I did mine.
It should show you the name and the
Because
API.
when I clicked on Carlos, I checked, I looked down the screen, like it was loading, then it showed. But if you exit Carlos, the URL won't show again. So I just had to quickly take a picture of, yes, it's showing. Have you seen it, sir?
It's showing, I could see that. Once you highlight, it shows your user ID because you
Yes,
show
sir.
so. All right. So I was really actually expecting it to display. So and that's why I'm here. All right, just give me a minute. Let me.
Sorry, please, can you explain again? So we click on Carlos, right? I don't know who was speaking before now.
Yeah, I was the one. You click on Carlos, or you just move your cursor over it.
Yes.
Then you look down at the screen. You see it's going to load the ID.
Yes, HTTPS.
Yes, you see the ID. So you can take a note of it, or you just snap it with your phone or something.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Please, can we hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so basically, I just want to intercept at this point and just give a brief explanation on this because I've went through it already. So basically, once you click on Carlos, you go back to your Bob suite and then you check the HTTP history. You are going to see your user ID there under the particular HTTP link. Okay. So personally, I didn't have to snap this thing. No, I just went back to the Bob suite and then I got the user ID there. Are we clear on that?
Yeah, so I've
Hello?
gone back to my box suit, right? And yes, can you hear me? I've gone back to my box suit and I've seen so you mean where we have the HTTPS, we have host method URL. So the ID under URL, that's our user ID, right?
Yes, you're going to find the user ID there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome.
Another way to do this is just to look at your search bar. I saw mine from the search bar. Once you open the blog post, you see the user ID on top of your search bar.
Hello, I love the way everyone is having different perspective to this question because normally once you load the browser, once you load that page, that blog, it should show you your ID. The way it's going to list it is going to be like Carlos, so API ID, user ID. You pick it, admin, it shows you the admin ID. So that was the way it's meant to show. But it's good for, for different challenge and different upgrade and updates. So I like he said, I was with you. I was listening to you actually, though I wasn't on my seat. So what Ibukun said, am I right? Is that Ibukun or who talked? Someone said something.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
is that you go into your blog post, you go to your HTTP history, right? Let's just show this. Okay. And that was the request we intercepted in like how many seconds ago? Because normally it's meant to show you this. Let me turn on my intercept and let's see what we have. I'm coming. I just stop sharing for now. I'm going to fix these issues.
The ID that you copied should be different from what is here. So in order for that to be so, get back to the task.
Okay, what's the task?
And that is on the browser, on the Chrome browser. Get back to the task.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, click on my accounts. No. For the other task, the lab. The
Okay, the lab itself.
Yeah, the lab
Yeah, here we
itself.
are.
Click on my account.
Okay.
Okay, should show something like email. Okay, you should have logged in before now with Wene and Peter. Put that in, let's
Yeah, I
see.
have, but let me. Yeah.
Okay, get back to the Bob suit now. Let's see
Okay.
what's on the repeater.
Here it is.
Okay, what we do is click on the X in front of the 6, just like you want to cancel the repeater request.
This
Yes,
This
then
right?
you go back to then you go back to the HTTP again, where we have the user ID. Proxy.
Okay, proxy. Yeah. Where we have the user ID.
Okay,
Is it
where
the
you
one for
have
my account?
Yes, the one for no, that's not for the account, for the blog.
That's this one.
Now, what you are trying to do is actually to put the user ID for the blog to replace it with the one for the account so that you can actually access the admin panel and then you can delete Carlos.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
task essentially. Okay. So this for the blog bar.
Yeah, that's for the blog.
Okay, you copy the user ID.
I've copied it before now.
Okay, copy it again just to be on the safer side and okay, now you can send to repeater. Let's see.
Send to repeater. Then I'll go
Then
to
go
my
to the repeater. Yeah.
Should I send again here?
No, you have to change the user ID here.
Okay. So I'm not entirely sure it's changed though. I think it's the same thing though.
And now that's the challenge because you're supposed to follow it according to the process that was highlighted there. So if we are not really following it according to that process, it's possible that the user ID here is not going to be the same. If I'm to share my screen, it's actually because I've already like I'm done with all the lab under the access control. So if I will have to go back there, it's like I will have to start and try to go back to the old lab again.
Okay. Well, let's try and see if we can sort it out because I was following our coach when he was going through it. So where do you think the problem is at?
The problem can be that we have taken a step ahead before we actually send the information to the repeater. You are only supposed to send to the repeater after you have already get on my account, and then by the time you click on my account the other time, you actually needed to log in with winner and this thing, which you should have done before now.
Okay. So
Yes.
we have to start it from the
Wait.
beginning.
Okay, can we wait? All right. So
Okay.
from here now, what I'm seeing here is the ID of the account is this one is ending with 44. Can you check your URL
Oh
now?
yeah,
Is
that's
it
true.
different from the previous one you have?
Yes,
That
it's
means you are
different from
replacing.
the
Can you copy that one for Carlos, then paste it here? Just highlight from here to that ID, then replace this. Just paste it here now. Let's see what happened. Can you click on enter?
Yes, your name is Carlos and the API key. I've seen it.
Okay,
That means
then that should be user ID for Carlos.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
means
you can go to your repeater now. Let's see if you can use that particular ID that you just copied now on your repeater. Okay, so you replace this, you copy this and replace this. Okay, highlight it and
wait.
replace.
Sorry. You know, I replaced with this one. So which should I replace with now?
Okay, you replace with
Yeah,
this one.
we are
Okay,
fine. Just send your
send.
request.
Let's see.
It should give you 200. Yeah, it's fine.
Use the search to this thing box to search for Carlos. Let's see.
Where do I, okay, here.
Done.
No, at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Okay, search Carlos. Zero matches.
Supposed to align colors.
At least it should show you something.
It's supposed to align colors.
Okay, just to get the concept right, I'm supposed to replace this particular one with that one I saw in my URL, right?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't do that. So let me see. And I already replaced with this one. How do I go
Just
back?
save it, please. Just do so.
The API key.
Can you just place this API key in your solution and let's see if you'll be able to solve it? Because it might not give you any response you are expecting. You are meant to just replace it with that API key, then for you to have a solution.
Solution. Okay.
So if it is right, your lab should be solved.
Yeah, okay, solved.
Well, you can go ahead and verify now. Let's see if you can get anything Carlos, of which.
So let me go one step backward and say, okay, all right. Copy this ID.
Sorry, is Omalai on the call? I think she was able to solve it. Some other people were able to solve it. And the truth is that this is really showing us something else, that there are diverse ways to some of all these challenges. And
Yes. I've gotten that.
Normally,
There are
once you
really
go to
diverse ways
browser,
to really.
it's meant to show you, admin, it's meant to show you your Carlos.
Yes, essentially, yes.
So that means they intentionally I don't know. Was it an intentional thing?
No, it's okay. It's normal. That's why I said everyone should go and solve it. You understand? So it's one of the reasons why I always want us to solve all these tasks, is that it can expose us and then give us resilience. You understand? So you must be resilient in solving some of these solutions. So if you are not persistent, you get tired. I'm telling you the truth. Okay, Omalayo, how were you able to solve this? I guess she was able to solve it from her hand as well. Let's listen to her own opinion as well. In 1 minute, please. I guess I will soon shut down, guys. I'm sorry for that. I have to shut down soon. Yeah.
Can I speak, sir?
Yeah, you can.
All right, sir. What I did was, once I accessed the lab and I found my colors, I moved my cursor over the colors and I looked down at the bottom of my screen. It popped out the user ID. Then I just, like I said, I took a picture of it. Then I went back to the browser, the page. Then I changed it from there. That's what I did. I didn't go to Bob Suits.
Exactly. That was the same thing I did, actually. So that was why I was really surprised that
Okay, you went to
there are rigorous ways. There are still rigorous ways to do this. I said rigorous.
I'm going to Bob Suits.
Okay, so you didn't go to the Bob Suit at all?
No, I didn't go to the Bob Suit at all.
Okay, you just changed it from your URL.
Yes, I just changed it from my URL. When I moved my cursor over Carlos, it popped out the ID. Then I just changed it from my URL and I got and I was able to log into Carlos and I got my API key for Carlos. That's what I did. So I didn't go to Bob's suit at all.
Wow, okay.
I'm
Thank you,
really happy with this class, you know, diverse approaches to solving this solution. That's what makes it much more interesting, guys. That's what makes it much more interesting. And this is really encouraging, you understand? So each time we give us task, let's attempt it. You understand? Just an attempt is not a failure, you know. A failure is total the total failure is when you didn't even attempt a question at all. For attempting the question, at least you scored 2 or 1. You get it? So that's just it. Right. So we'll be calling it a day from here. I'm sorry, we have to round up now. So that's do we have any other question, please, in the next few minutes? So we try and cover up all the remaining labs in our coming classes. All right, please, let's come to the session to time and let's practice. Let's practice. All right, let's practice. Practice is what makes perfection. All right. Okay. And if you are here to, you know, to be up to date, please kindly do so. Please do so. All right. Thank you, everyone. Now, do you have questions, please, before we go? Fill your attendance. Don't forget to do that.
Good, sir. Please, not a question exactly, sir. So,
Okay.
but still, we're yet to get the recordings from last week's classes.
Last week, we didn't have any. Okay. Okay. All right. I will talk to Aisha, please. I will talk to her if we have any other classes that they are here to upload the recording. So we do that.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you. Okay. I think I can stop recording. Please, do we have any other questions?